And for those of you that don't know me, my name is Nick Martinez. I live out in Minnesota. I've been a promoter now with Pruvit for the last 5 years. I used to be a full-time airline pilot with Delta Connection and was introduced to this randomly through a flight attendant. So I've fallen in love with ketones. I've fallen in love with the conversation. I've fallen in love with helping people. And through that, we've been able to create a really cool business that allowed my wife to not go back to work after our second child was born, Juliana, who's now 5, and has allowed me to walk away from flying airplanes and really just focus on helping people feel better with ketones, and at the same time, helping people like you grow a business around this. So our goal tonight is really just to equip you with some simple information that will help you better share ketones with people around you. And we're going to teach you the process that we go through in order to introduce this to people. Notice I'm using words like introduce and share, not let me teach you how to sell ketones to all of your friends, and let me teach you how to be really spammy and obnoxious so no one likes you. That is definitely not our goal. And if you follow what you're about to learn tonight, if you kind of plug into the simple steps that we have in the process, you're going to find that this is something you can absolutely do in the nooks and crannies of your day. You can do it around a full-time busy schedule, whether you're a full-time mom or a full-time worker and full-time mom, or whatever it is, or a dad that's going from sun up to sundown. This business truly is geared to work in the 5-minute pockets or the 30-second pockets of your day. So in order to help me with share some of this information tonight, I have 2 amazing promoters who have been very successful over the last year or 2 of just sharing this and also building an incredible business in the process. So the first that I will have come off mute and share is Sally. Sally, I'd love for you to introduce yourself. I've gotten a chance to know Sally over the last year, and personally, a couple weekends ago, got to spend some time together. And she is an amazing human being and individual who's got a zest for life and for this business now. So Sally, what's happening? How's it going?
What's up, Nick? How are you? Hi, everybody. I am Sally Melendez. Nice to see you all. Gosh, I recognize some beautiful faces on this chat. I will get to know all of you guys at some point. I just absolutely love this community. I am Sally. I am from Hollister, California. I am a mom of 2 small babies, a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old. So yes, it is chaotic and crazy all the time in our household. I am a wife to my amazing husband. I am a registered nurse as well. I took the plunge into sharing this experience last year in June. And because of the changes that it showed to myself and to my husband's life, and I said, the world needs to know about ketones. So I am Sally. I have been an avid ketone drinker since last year. And I just cannot wait to share you guys all this awesome experience that we've been going on over the last 9 months that I've been a part of this business. So thank you so much, Nick, for hosting this Zoom.
Awesome. Yes, Sally, absolutely. Thanks for being here. Next person that's going to share is Jamie. Jamie, would love to you have come off mute and just share with us a little bit about your story and why you're excited about our community and our business.
You got it. Hey guys, my name is Jamie Hill. I am from the opposite coast. I'm from South Jersey. You're going to hear me repeat exactly what Sally says. I have a 2- and a 3-year-old here at my house. It is pure craziness. They are sleeping right now. Thank goodness. So I started drinking ketones after I felt like I wasn't able to lose any baby weight. Any parents here, you get that. I was frustrated. I was so happy to find the ketones. I dropped 55 pounds within my first 10 months of drinking them. Loved the energy. And this community is unlike anything I've ever experienced. When Nick talks about the nooks and crannies of your day, I think I want to put that on my resume. So I was working full-time. I was a manager at a veterinary compounding pharmacy, loved my job, just recently left my job 2 months ago to work Pruvit full-time. Love doing this so much. But I literally worked this into the nooks and crannies of my day. I'd be walking down the hallway using voice memo, taking small breaks here or there. Every time I went to the restroom, I was on my phone generating income. So this is definitely something that you guys can do if you're working full time. And if you absorb everything like a sponge and rely on the community to support you, you can absolutely make this whatever you would like it to be. So Nick, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So before we get into information and just a little of our system and maybe your cloud office, I want to just start with like, why did you sign up as a promoter? And I think it's important to kind of figure that out and have an understanding. And the reason that you're doing this might shift over time. It might start to expand. When I got started, it was my friend that introduced it to me. His wife was a flight attendant that I flew with. And he said, Nick, you've got to do this with me. We're going to help tons of people. And we're going to create a huge business. And for some reason, I was open enough to hop on, become a promoter, had never understood ketones or knew what they were. And I thought in the back of my head, hey, let me test this out on all of my pilot friends and my family. And if it works, maybe we can create something cool here. So that's where I was in the beginning. I also thought in the back of my head, it'd be really neat to pay my mortgage with this. It'd be really neat to create an income with this. My wife was pregnant, and I was hoping that maybe we could create something significant enough that she wouldn't have to go back to work. But that's where I was at. I know everybody starts in a different spot. Sally, when you started as a promoter, what were your intentions or what were your goals? Where were you at?
Yeah, so thanks. That's a great question. Where I was at was I had had a transformation. I had started drinking ketones prior to becoming a promoter, and I had a huge transformation. I had lost about 65 pounds, and my husband as well. So we were collectively down about 130 pounds. So I knew that this product spoke volumes, and the science, as a nurse, I researched all the time. And so that mixed with what was happening to my family was like, this is unstoppable. And so I came on with let's get some free boxes delivered to my home. So me and my husband do not have to pay for these anymore. And then let's see if I can go from being a full-time nurse to being a per diem nurse, which I didn't mention in my introduction, I was able to do in about 3 to 4 months. So it really, really allowed me to started to create an income for our family, as well as earning free ketones. So that is what excited me the most about jumping on and starting forward with this process.
Awesome. Jamie, why don't you share why you got started?
So I was drinking ketones for 5 months before I took the plunge. So congratulations to all of you guys who were jumping in after 3 days, 5 days, a month. That's amazing. You guys are super brave. So I was a little hesitant to join because I had never done anything like this before. And I was like, oh, I don't know. I let fear take over. And like Sally, I had lost about 35 pounds already at that point before my amazing supportive upline reached down to me and said, you could be getting this stuff for free. And I was like, huh? What do you mean I can get this for free? Okay. And I was on a call with 2 of my members of my upline, and they asked me a question, and I'll never forget this. They said, how much money do you want to make every single month doing this? And I laughed because I was nervous. I was like, $200 a month. So I was like, I'll take free ketones and I'll take grocery money, $200 a month. I'm not going to set the bar high. I'm just here to get the free ketones and drink them. And I'm not really going to take this seriously. So it is what it is. And boy, has that transformed since I started. So I'm just, proud of all of you guys for taking that plunge and really opening up your door to better and endless possibilities from here on out.
Awesome. So it's fun because everybody starts in a different spot. You heard Sally already kind of was ready to take the bull by the horns and reduce the hours she's working at her job. Jamie was just hoping to get free ketones and some grocery money. So wherever you're at is where you're at. That's awesome. We're excited that you're here in that space. And know this, what we're going to talk about, you just get to apply as much or as little of it as you want, right? This is your business. Hopefully by the end of this call, you'll realize the potential of what you have your hands on, the power of this product, just in Sally and Jamie's stories alone, the impact that this can have on people's lives. And through that, hopefully that will fuel you to just be inspired to share this with more people. And when you do that, guess what happens? You grow a larger business. And when you grow a larger business, you start to dream a little bit bigger, think a little bit bigger, and you start to say, hey, I'd like to bring some people along with me. So as we're talking here, if anybody comes to your mind of like, oh, they should be drinking ketones, or, oh, I wish they were on the Zoom, write their name down. Like, don't let that name slip away. Write their name down, because we're going to talk a little bit about how simple it is to reach out to people and just to invite them to learn more about what we're doing and how to just simply introduce them to this conversation without being attached to the outcome, without being attached to whether they say yes or no. Really, it's more of an introduction, like you went to a great restaurant or saw a great movie. You're excited about sharing it. If they choose not to go to the restaurant, okay. So let's go ahead and just dive right in. We have some simple things to cover. And before we have just 5 simple steps. There are 5 things that I really want you to understand before we sign off tonight. And if you understand these 5 things, like you've basically got the business. Before we get into that, I just want to cover a simple framework of 2 things. Number 1 is called ACE. Number 2 is our GO challenge. So if you're new and you have a piece of paper out, hopefully you're taking notes, write down the letters ACE. ACE. It's our system. We call it attract, connect, and I guess you can put down 2 E's, experience and enroll. And everything that we're going to talk through tonight is about this process of attract, connect, experience, enroll. Attract, connect, experience, enroll. And then the second thing that we'll go into a little bit is what we call the GO challenge. And it's basically how you get paid and promoted. So how you earn like commissions right away, as far as some fun bonus money, a $250 bonus for hitting Go Pro, a $500 bonus for hitting MVP. I just want to put it out there and put it in your brain so that you have something to go for, and just know that it's like there's real money to be made, real rewards to be had if you follow what we're about to do and what we're about to talk about. So first thing is ACE. So A stands for attract or approach. That's how we either attract by posting on Facebook, approach people. The C stands for connect, or we're going to connect people to tools, resources, and people. We'll teach you what those are in a second. And then experience is getting people to experience ketones, whether that's selling somebody 5 or 10 servings of the product you just bought. You probably just got started with a promoter pack or one of our brand builder packs, dividing that up into 5 servings or 10 servings and getting that into people's hands. That's the experience, or getting them to experience a 10-day drink ketones challenge. And then enroll is helping them get started as either a customer or a promoter, and then enrolling them into our community, into our calls, into our support system, into our ecosystem of Pruvit. So that is our simple system. So before we go any further into that, I just want to walk through some very simple steps. I mentioned I have 5 different things. Number 1 is we want you to plug in. And plugging in is really, really simple. To plug in, you're just going to make sure that you have downloaded on your phone your Pruvit Pulse app. Just go to your app store, type in Pruvit. Raise your hand if you already have it on your phone. Awesome. I had a brand new promoter who just got started a couple nights ago, and she already enrolled her first couple of customers, which is awesome. I think she's on here. She's like, I didn't get any notifications. I'm like, shoot, I didn't tell you to download the app. That was on me. She would have gotten a notification saying you got new customers. So download the Pruvit Pulse app, download the Pruvit TV app, and download the Pruvit Everyday app. I know there are 3 apps. It sounds like a lot, but they each have a simple purpose. Right now, just make sure that you have them, and you can start to learn more as you click on them. And a lot of this, you're going to go self-learn. I don't want to overwhelm you with information tonight, but I just want you to have a wherewithal of what's out there. And if you just think of it 5 minutes a day, I'm going to click on things and see something new. That's how you will learn this business over the next 30 days. So those are the apps. The other thing to take note is we do have a couple of groups that you can join. Our team has a group called Better Starts Here. Make sure your sponsor enroller invites you to it, or just type that in and you can request access. Better Starts Here. That's kind of our team training page. We also have a fun community where we celebrate people. We have recognition and just a really powerful group. It's called the VIP Prover Community. VIP Prover Community. So those 2 groups are kind of team-wide. And then from a Pruvit standpoint, from Pruvit kind of corp standpoint, we have a customer group, or a product group, if you want to call it that, called Drink Ketones Daily. And if somebody wants to type those into the chat, that would be awesome. Drink Ketones Daily is for your customers. It's for you. We have our reboot coaches in there. We have product coaching in there. We just have a lot of great information in there about ketones and our products. And then our final one is the Pruvit Promoter Group. And that's Pruvit Promoter. Thank you, Jamie. So those are typed out there. You can either screenshot that or just write it down and grab those or just add yourself to those groups. So if you're part of the app, if you in those groups, the last thing that you'll kind of be added to, and this is just based upon your support team and who you're working with, is your team chats. And we use Facebook Messenger a lot just to communicate. It makes it really simple to communicate within different pockets. But I'm sure if you haven't already, you will be added to a chat at some point where you're communicating with some part of your support team, and you can use that as a direct line to communication. So the goal with all of that is just so that you have access to the mothership, right? That's your umbilical cord to Pruvit through those groups, through those apps. All right, and moving on. So that's number one, is just plug in. If you're plugged in and if you only take a few minutes a day and just click on something and learn something new, you're going to grow your brain, you're going to grow your mindset, and you're going to grow your understanding of our business. Second thing I want you to do is know your links. And knowing your links is really important because you are already excited about this. You probably have been in conversation with a couple of people who are asking you, hey, tell me more about this. What are those ketones that you're drinking? Well, you're going to probably be very tempted to explain a lot to them. And we're going to ask you not to do that. You don't need to be the ketone expert. When I was flying airplanes and the pilot was asking me a bunch of questions, I learned the hard way where I got into this conversation about ketones at 30,000 feet back and forth, where we had nothing to do for 2 hours except talk to each other. And so I'm getting grilled about something I know nothing about. And he didn't end up he's like, well, I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense. And I kept trying to explain it out of my mouth and it didn't work. So here's what I learned since then as I used the tools. And the best tool that we have is our campfire video. How many of you have seen the campfire video? Raise your hand if you've seen it. If you haven't seen it, you're going to have to watch it. It explains ketones and campfires. It uses an analogy of campfires to explain ketones. The easiest way to share this is through one of your Pruvit websites. And the one that I like to use, which I'll share my screen here, you can find on your homepage when you log into your account under where it says share. Here's where it says share. It says challenge.com. This is the easiest website to find this. Now note the little part in front of this. It could be a series of letters and numbers. It could be something that you already set up. You can edit that if you need to under settings. When you go to your name up top and click on settings, you can change your referral code if you have not already. But this is your website. This is where people go to buy ketones and to learn more. I use challenge.com. I'll pull that up here. This is if somebody's specifically going to learn more about challenge.com, and watch this. It plays the campfire video right here. That's why I love this website. It shares it with them. It's a great introductory product. The second website that I'll bring to your attention, there's others. Don't worry about them right now. You can kind of learn them as you go. But the second one that is the most important here is Shop Keto. This is more of a shopping cart, kind of an Amazon experience. If somebody goes here, they get to see all of Pruvit's products, and it's easy for people to click through and order a la carte specifically what they want. So those are your two main websites. That is how you are connected in the system. By having the word Nick here, when I share this with a new customer, I get credit for their order. They're attached to my cloud office. I will see them in my account. I'll get a notification on my Pulse, which you just downloaded, that they have gotten started. So that's the boring stuff. That's the basics. Let's move on to really kind of what will move the needle forward in this business. And there's a couple very simple things. Number one is posting on social media, utilizing the tools, the resources at your hands. I know some of you are like crazy social media experts, which is awesome. Some of you are like, well, Nick, I don't post at all. I'm on there and I maybe like or comment. That's okay. I guarantee you have some friends on Facebook. You probably have more than I did when I started. I only had 200 friends on Facebook. But by posting and doing it wisely, you can actually create a lot of attraction and a lot of curiosity around what we're doing. So let's talk a little bit about posting. And Sally, I'd love for you to share just a couple ideas. Actually, I think Jamie, I want to have you share a couple ideas of just how somebody might post their first initial post, or what can somebody think about when putting that up there? Maybe they've drank it 5 or 10 serving trial pack. Maybe they just bought their first box. What would you recommend? How would you coach somebody through that?
Awesome. All right. So show of hands, who has not posted about ketones yet? Has not. All right. Annalisa. Who else has not posted? All right. I can't see any more hands. But anyway, so first post can be scary, right? Does everybody remember their first post? And when you hit submit, you were like, oh God, oh my gosh, what did I just do? No one's going to like this. No one's going to do anything, right? That was me for 5 months. It took me 5 months to join, if you recall me saying that. So it's very easy to make your first post if you just allow yourself to be yourself. You do not want to post something that is so out of this world that people are like, okay, Caitlin Martinez did not write that herself. Who wrote that for her? That was scripted. You want to be yourself, and you want to do something simple. Like, for me, I am very energetic, high energy. I'm always up here. Nowadays, I would post something like, holy smokes, I got 3 hours of sleep last night. My kids kept me up all night. Thank God for this amazing drink I drink every single day. I feel amazing. That would just be a simple post. And people would be like, well, what? 3 hours of sleep? How are you so happy? What are you doing? Why are you in such a good mood? You could do something like that. You could do something as simple as like, just drank this amazing keto up today, picture of you with your drink. And people are going to go, what kind of energy drink is that? I've never seen that in the stores before. And that really gives you an action step to have a conversation with people. If you've lost weight, or you've done a reboot, or you've done a 10-day challenge, you can certainly, if you're comfortable, you can post your pictures before and better. You can post how many pounds you saw go down on the scale. You can post, oh, just added this amazing cream to my coffee this morning. It tastes so good. I feel amazing this morning. Anything that you can post that gets people to think, well, what the heck is she doing? That could just be a simple first post. I feel amazing today. Thank God for my ketones. Super easy post right there. So those are a couple of options right there.
I love it. How about you, Sally? Any thoughts on that?
Yeah. So when I first got started, I had been watching Jamie for months and months and months. And I was like, I'm just going to be authentic. I'm going to be myself. And so I was filming my kids being absolutely out of control. And I shook a ketone and I was like, thank Jesus for this amazing energy I'm about to get for today. So that created that curiosity of, well, what's that mom of 2 babies 13 months apart drinking, where she's going. And then I love to tell people that I created that curiosity in the very beginning with stories. And then I then went in with a post, and it was the post that, really generated a lot of that. Well, what has she been doing? I've noticed she's been shrinking, and she's got energy, and she's that. And so that really helped me move this business forward. But my biggest love of this was that energy, was that appetite suppression, was that better mood, better sleep, better mental clarity as a mom, as a nurse. I would also shake a ketone up before starting work in my nursing outfit. Like, I can't wait to take care of my patients today with all this amazing energy. So making it authentic to yourself, tying it into who you are, and remembering the fact that ketones are not a weight loss supplement. You do not have to stop getting started because you don't have the results yet. This is many amazing things that happen before the fat loss that people need. So I love that aspect of ketones because of all of that amazingness that happens before the fat loss.
That's it. I mean, if ketones were for weight loss, a lot of people wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be here. So they're for fat loss or for becoming healthier. So that's a great point. Here's one. I've had people who have never tried ketones before, and they just became a promoter, and they're saying, well, I haven't even drank it. What can I post? So I see Jamie smiling and nodding. What would you tell somebody, Jamie, in that situation? What would you have them post?
So never tried it and going to post. If it were me, I'd be like, well, here I am, and I'm taking a plunge, and I'm looking for 10 friends to join me on drinking this stuff that I hear is absolutely amazing. And I know X, Y, and Z are drinking this product and loving it, and I can't wait to get my first shipment in. generating excitement about something that you haven't done yet, people will be like, well, there's got to be something. As long as you're generating some type of curiosity regarding the product, people are going to want to know what you're doing. Or calling up your 3 closest friends. Guys, I just did something crazy. I went and I purchased this huge promoter pack. I have 200 servings of ketones heading my way. Which one of you guys or all 3 of you are going to help me with this? Who wants to try this with me? Start a group. You can say, who wants to link arms with me? Who wants to join me? There's going to be prizes, giveaways, whatever. Generate some type of excitement with a group and gather people around you to join you in doing it together. And you're doing it with them, right? So you can say, listen, I'm here with you, doing this with you. I will be here to help you every step of the way. That's what I would go for.
I love it. It's simple. I mean, the whole concept is I'm excited, selfie, you with a big smile on your face. So excited today, just ordered this drink I've heard so much about. Can't wait for the energy, focus, and fat loss everybody is getting. Have you tried this yet? People will be like, what are you talking about? What's this? So notice we're not using words like, hey, I just drank my keto nat and now I'm feeling amazing because Pruvit is incredible. We're keeping it a little bit vague to create curiosity, right? You want to have curiosity. You want people to wonder, what is that? What is she drinking? Because then they're coming to you. Whereas if you give all the information and send out, like you just put links on your Facebook, people are going like this, you're pushing them away. So we want to create that curiosity. So what's the step when somebody gets a comment on their post says, what's that you drinking? How do you respond? Sally, let us know, like, what's the process after that?
Yes. So this is one of my favorite things to help my brand new promoters that come onto my amazing team and helping them with is everybody, when they click that promoter button and they get that big monster pack in and they're starting to share this experience, and then somebody asks them about, what is this that you're doing? It's that excitement that builds up within yourself that you just want to word vomit all over the place, right? And when you're on social media, it's like you want to just tell everybody because it's amazing. However, we are really big here into Pruvit community with an individualized conversation. So what I love to do is when somebody, like my very first post that I had put up where I had a transformation picture after my week long of energy stuff, people were commenting left and right. And I said, I would always thank them for their comment because it was wonderful to have that feedback. And then I would tell them, like, I would love to message you. So I would go into a personalized message conversation with these people and give them the information based off of their needs, their desires, their goals, and what they want out of life. If they want muscle preservation, if they want fat loss, if they just want energy, like what do they want? Again, because ketones cover so much for our bodies that we want to tailor our conversations with the people that are interested in this based off of their goals. So I love taking the conversation privately because that gets a one-on-one feeling with your customer. It also gives people that are reading it on a platform like social media, like, well, what is she going to that person to talk to them about? It kind of creates that curiosity. Well, I want to know more. So it creates that curiosity that people want to then type in, like, can you tell me about it too? So that's how I do social media with ketones.
Awesome. Pretty much the same for you, Jamie?
Yeah. So anytime someone comes at me with a question or something, I always like to make sure that I'm in control of the conversation, because the second that the customer is asking you 700 questions, you're just going to be like, holy smokes, this is out of control. So the very first thing I do is I introduce myself, and if I don't know them, and I say, how are you? I stop them. How are you? And then they're like, I'm great. How are you? So tell me about these ketones. And I always say, okay, awesome. So tell me what you know about ketones and ketosis so I can gauge where we can take this conversation. And usually people are like, oh, it's going to help me lose weight. And I'm like, I'm going to send you a list of all the benefits. And why don't you tell me what the top 3 are that you're most excited about? And then usually people are like, oh, energy, appetite suppressant, fat loss. And I'm like, amazing. This will help you with all 3 of those things. But before we get into that, run me through what a day-to-day life in your shoes is like. And then they say, I wake up at 6, I have a coffee, I have breakfast, I have lunch, I have dinner, I come home. And I'm like, great, what level of activity do you experience throughout the day? And then they'll say, well, I sit at my in-home office now. I'm working from home for 8 hours a day. And I'm like, okay, so, there's little movement. How much water are you drinking? I'm in control of the conversation. So I am asking them the questions because I want to know them. I also go into, are there any medical conditions we should know about? Are there any medications that you're on that you feel comfortable explaining? Because you want to know all of this stuff before you present these. You want to have everything packaged up in a nice bow to be like, awesome, great. So here you go. This is a great fit for you. But what you find through doing this is that, they want the energy because they're up all night with their kids, or they want the fat loss because they need to lose 40 more pounds before they're approved for like fat loss surgery. You find things out when you're in control of the conversation, and then you can be a better promoter for your customers' needs. And that's exactly what helps make that connection, is being available one-to-one for your customers and figuring out exactly what they need. So sorry if that went on too long, Nick.
Awesome. No, I mean, great dialogue. It's always great to ask questions. So think about this. I know if you're brand new, you're like, oh gosh, I got to ask all these questions. How do I remember all this stuff? There's a simple process here. Step number 1 is you put the post up. Step number 2, somebody comments, and then you reply to that comment. I'll message you. That's exactly what Sally went through. Just say, I'll message you. I'll shoot you a message. They say, what are you drinking? I'll message you. What is that? Hey, I'll shoot you a message. You're going to love it. I just PM'd you. And then in your private message to them, you're going to say, hey, are you drinking ketones yet? You can start to learn more language, but this is simple. This just works. Are you drinking ketones yet? They say, no, what's that? You say, oh my gosh, this stuff's amazing. If I sent you a quick video, would you check it out? You just want them to learn about it, right? And now we're going to send them that. We're going to connect them to that challenge.com website I just said, or I mentioned earlier. Now that they've seen the video, now, boom, everything that you just heard Jamie talk about, you got to start saying, well, what from that video, what benefit do you think you'd like to see the most? Now, here's another pro tip. Y'all are working with somebody, whoever you're working with, whether it's the person that sponsored you or somebody in your support team, you can connect them to help answer questions. So your job isn't to be able to regurgitate everything that Jamie just did. It's to put Jamie in a chat and make Jamie do it for you. Or it's Sally in a chat, or me in a chat, or whoever it is that you're working with. So they ask you a question, I give you permission to play dumb for the next 6 months. If you want your business to grow really fast, you got to play dumb for the next year. So I played dumb. Actually, I was dumb when I first started. I did not know anything about ketones, and I couldn't answer any questions about it. So when I was flying and somebody was asking me after I learned the hard way by trying to explain it, I would just say, hey, that's a great question. When we land, I'm going to put you on the phone with my friend Mitch, and he can help answer this question. I was not in the messenger or text. I just would get them on the phone. But guess what? Nowadays, it's so easy. You just say, that's a great question. Let me connect you with my friend, Sally. She is super smart and knows everything about ketones. 1 sec. And then boom, you create a chat. It's got Sally's name. It's got Susie Q's name. Hey, Susie Q, this is my girlfriend, Sally. She's been drinking ketones longer than I have. Sally, this is my girlfriend, Susie Q. She just commented on my post. She's super curious about the ability to lose fat with this product. I'd love for you to share your story. Boom. Now Sally is helping answer the question. Next thing you know, Susie Q is ready to get started. And all you had to do was nothing. Keep your mouth shut and connect. So that the ACE part, the tracked was the Facebook post, the connect piece, connecting them to the video, connecting them to Sally. The next piece is the experience enroll. And that is what Sally will help you with, is either getting them to start with the 10-day drink ketones challenge or starting with the 5 or 10 serving trial pack. All right. That is, it sounds complicated, but hopefully we've broken it down into a simple step. And let me just tell you, it works. Raise your hand if you've posted on Facebook and it has worked. You've met new people or created curiosity from that. Look at that. So anybody on here that's a little skittish or shy about it, have some fun. Get support in writing your Facebook post. Type out whatever you're going to post and send it to your sponsor and say, hey, what do you think? How can we tweak this and make it a little bit better? They're getting versed in that. I've spent the last 5 years writing Facebook posts, and if you're working with me and anybody in our team, just shoot me a message. I'm happy to help you with that. So the next thing is actually even easier than posting on Facebook. That was number 3. Number 4 is something that is really, really simple, and it's just called approach. Because remember, the A stands for attract or approach, and it's how do you approach people about ketones and how do you invite them to learn more? Now, every week we actually have a call. It's called Maximize Your Ketones. It's tomorrow night, Wednesday night at 7:30 p.m. Same time every week. And it's just about how do ketones work. It's a few stories. It's a little bit about the different products that we have and how people can get them. It's one of the most easy, simple calls that you can invite somebody to where they will get to learn more. And the more important piece of it is it gives you an excuse to reach out and to message somebody, hey, are you drinking ketones yet? Hey, what are you doing tomorrow night? So Sally, I would love for you to just walk people through real quick. Number 1, who should they reach out to today for the call tomorrow or tomorrow for the call tomorrow night? And what should they say?
Yeah, so I would reach out to people who have expressed interest in what you're doing. If you are a brand new promoter, we'll go back to what Nick talked about in the beginning of this Zoom, which was who do you know could benefit from all of the stuff that ketone provides? So writing down a list of names, having that conversation with them, and then taking that step to approaching them about this amazing call that we have every Wednesday night. I love these calls because, again, it is a third-party validation. Anytime you put somebody into a conversation with somebody else besides yourself, it just validates what you are saying. So I would definitely reach out to people who, if you are been in this business for a little bit, people that have reached out, people have been watching your social media posts, people have been asking questions about it. And then if you're brand new to this, what Nick said, people that you can think of could benefit from the energy, the mental clarity, the focus, the fat loss. So that's who I would reach out to. And I would also say when reaching out to them is talking about not hit right away with like a, hey, what's going on? Like about ketones, but like, hey, how's it going? How's the family? Happy Wednesday. I just want to let you know, or what are you doing on Wednesday night at this certain time? I'm going to be attending this amazing Zoom about this amazing product, and I would love for you to join me. But those are the couple people that I would reach out to if you were brand new versus have had a little bit of experience with this business.
Awesome. So all of us have a phone full of people that need ketones. The question is, are you going to tell them about them? Right? First people that I called were my mom, my dad, my sister, Liz Grant, I think she's on the Zoom. Wave, Liz. There's Liz. My buddy John Order, like just people that were good friends of mine who I knew that if I called them, they would listen. And what I said to them, and you're going to say whatever is like authentic to you, is just, hey, I found something I think you'll love. What do you know about ketones and ketosis? So we all have people that we can shoot that message to. We all have people that we can make that phone call to. And honestly, those are probably the people you care about the most. And guess what? Ketones are going to benefit from them, or benefit them. My mom's drinking ketones 5 years later. She's turning 68 on Thursday, and she's rocking 68. I just saw a picture of her. They got 5 feet of snow at their house in Colorado, and she's out there in these jeans and this shirt, and she's just like the most trim, athletic 68-year-old woman you'll ever meet. It's crazy. But how did she find out about them? I called her and I said, Mom, I just found ketones. She's like, what? I think you're going to die from doing that thing. You're eating bacon and we have heart disease in our family, Nick. And I'm like, no, Mom, it's different. You got to get on this call. Here, hop on this. And we would, back then it wasn't Zoom. It was actually a number she had to dial in, a voice call. But I invited her to it. So tomorrow night, we have a call at 7:30. My question to you is, how many people will you invite between now and then to be on? It's not rocket science to invite, right? The language is simple. Think of it as if you were having a Super Bowl party at your house and you were inviting people to come. Hey, I'm having a party tomorrow night. Can you come? Hey, what are you doing tomorrow? Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Why? Oh my gosh, we're doing a call to talk about those ketones I mentioned to you last week. We're doing a call to talk about this stuff that I've been drinking. I'm feeling amazing. We're doing a call to talk about this stuff I just ordered and became a promoter of. I think you're going to love it. Honestly, I haven't even drank it yet, but this stuff's off the charts. You got to hear these stories. So it doesn't matter where you're at in your journey. Maybe you've been a customer for 5 months or 9 months, like Jamie, and you've lost 55 pounds. We'll share that. Just be authentic to you and invite. Okay, that is like, if you master the art of that, if you master the art of just asking people, hey, are you drinking ketones yet? You'll never run out of people to talk to. And you'll be able to speed your business up, because right now you can post and pray that people comment, but you can also go talk to the people that you want to help with this, because ketones do provide that, that life jacket of sorts. All right, moving on to number 5 is scheduling a private call or a keto life party, kind of a virtual keto life party, in order to introduce people to this conversation. Jamie, would love for you to touch a little bit. Just give us the highlights. What is a keto life party, or maybe a private Zoom? Tell us a little bit about that.
Awesome. So keto life parties right now are my jam. I love hosting them. It's a great way to rely on your upline to do this for you. So if you are new and you're like, I don't really know much about the product, your upline can help you do this and have a private Zoom or private call or a private keto life party. So basically the keto life party is going to be what ketones are, showing the product on the screen, showing how to shake the product up, and going over how to get the product, and then how to get the product for free. So in 30 minutes, I can squeeze all of that in for any of my customers or promoters who want it, and guaranteed you can reach out to your upline too to get that support as well. And basically that just starts the ripple effect for all conversations regarding ketones. And it will also help your promoters and customers learn more about the product themselves as they're watching you go live. Because I utilize Facebook a lot, Facebook Lives in these groups. I encourage the crowd to interact with me. And, I ask them questions, they type in the comments, and then I get a feel for who I'm dealing with, kind of gauge my conversation regarding who is on the Zoom. But keto life parties are pretty much who has been to like a Tupperware party or like a Scentsy party or a 31 bag party where the lady's got her stuff on the table and you're trying on bags and smelling wax bars. It's exactly that, but with ketones and behind a computer screen. So I'm back here showing product and talking about product and the benefits and how to get it. So that's pretty much what it is virtually until we can all meet up face to face again.
Awesome. So you can do it virtually via Facebook. You can even schedule a private Zoom, just like what we're on right now, where you literally invite 3 to 5 people to hop on to learn more about what you're doing. And you just do it via Zoom. At the end of the day, the goal is just to schedule something. If you put it on the calendar, I was on the phone with, Annalisa, right before this call, and we have a call scheduled for her on Tuesday night, and she is inviting people to it. There you are. And basically just gives her a reason to call friends, say, hey, what are you doing Tuesday night? We're having a private call to learn more about these ketones that I just ordered and that I've been feeling great with. And guess what? If she invites 10 or 15 people to that, same thing will work with a virtual keto life party. So work with whoever your support team is. Say, hey, Nick said that I need to schedule one of these. What should we do? And guess what? They will help you do that. We'll get it on the calendar and we'll start that. The reason that we do these is because of the activity, the action that it creates. Right? In the beginning, I talked about GoPro and Go MVP is kind of like our Go challenge, which is the metrics are rewards, how you can earn some bonuses, and we all want to hit those. Well, how do we do that? We got to take action, right? We got to take action. By taking action, it's just simple things like putting the post up on Facebook that we mentioned, reaching out to people, inviting them to the call tomorrow night, scheduling a keto life party or a Zoom to invite people to so that they can learn more about ketones. That's the activity. Notice none of that is you need to go sell them. You need to answer all their questions. You need to convince them. It's just you need to create an opportunity to introduce them to what you're doing and why you're excited about it. And if you remember that, like, what am I doing? Hey, I'm talking about ketones. I'm excited about these because prior to drinking this, this is what you're experiencing. Now, this is what you're experiencing. And that will attract them to get started in some form or another, whether they're starting with the trial pack, starting with their Drink Ketones Challenge, or hopping in with both feet and joining you as a promoter. So let's see. Last thing I want to just kind of touch on is the Go Challenge, like I just mentioned. And that is a 30-day challenge. It's a little bit time critical. And there's a reason behind that, because if no one says, hey, you need to get going, most people don't go, right? Because sometimes it requires you to get a little bit uncomfortable to put a Facebook post out there or to reach out to somebody. I understand that can be a little bit nerve-wracking. So Pruvit puts a little bit of a clock on this Go Challenge, which is really powerful because it forces us to move to action. The challenge, the 30-day challenge, does not start until you enroll your first person, you press the button in your back office that says go, or 14 days after you signed up. So one of those three things will cause it to start. Now, what we'd like it to be is the first one, which is you enrolled somebody. You don't need to go in and press the green button. I know there's a lot of language on there that you probably read and you're like, oh, should I press it? Should I not press it? Don't press it. It'll start on its own, whether you enroll somebody or 14 days has gone by. So let's try to go enroll your first person before it starts. But once it starts, you have 30 days to hit what we call Go Pro and Go MVP. And I'm going to go through it now, but there are videos that we have that explain it. So don't worry about the details, just understand the concept. The first 14 days of the challenge is Go Pro. You need to have two customers and 1,000 in points. In your cloud, when you log into your cloud and you go to rewards, in fact, I will share my screen here. You will see a button that says rewards. When you click on this little button here where it says rewards, it's going to bring you to your rewards section. We're not going to go through all of this right now. You can just kind of learn it as you go. But if you click on a weekly, it's going to bring up your Go Pro and your Go MVP. So if you click on Go Pro, it'll drop down and it'll show you. You have 14 days to Go Pro. It'll tell you when it expires. It'll tell you how much you need. So think of these as points. We call it volume, but think of them as points. And you need 2 customers minimum. You need 1,000 in team volume. 800 of that has to come from people that you personally sponsor. The difference here can come if one of them starts referring people. Let's say you enrolled a promoter and they sponsor some people. Well, 200 of the points can count from there. If you want to know what you earn, you click here and it's going to tell you, hey, you earn a $250 bonus. You earn 100 Pruvit bucks. That's really exciting. And you've also unlocked some other rewards, which is really, really cool. So if you go back to rewards, go down to weekly. I know I'm going fast, but you can go and play around on your own website. Don't worry. And you click on MVP, it will show you exactly what you need. 4 customers, which includes whatever you did towards Go Pro, 2,000 in volume or points, and then 1,600 of that has to be personally enrolled, and the 400 difference can come if you have a promoter that starts to go enroll other people. And this one's really fun. This is the one that you want to make sure that you hit because it's $500 bonus plus $100 in Pruvit bucks. What that means is free product credit, so free ketones, which is super awesome. And you get some other cool rewards enhancements as well. So that is that's the basics. Like that's the business. Believe it or not, by following those steps and doing exactly what we just talked about, you can create whatever it is that you want here. Like it is that simple. Before we go on, I know Jamie and Sally both have a couple closing thoughts, but are there any questions? If you have a question, I would love for you to type it in the chat or come off mute while we're all here. And might as well, no questions, a dumb question, because everybody probably has the same question. Anything at all before we close up? Now that is a cute puppy. Is that a puppy, Kathy? Oh my goodness.
Hey, Candace, I have a quick question.
Shoot.
So most of my correspondence, a lot of it, like when, for example, when we're responding to somebody, it's by it's Facebook chat, right? Perfect. So if we're chatting at that moment, can we use to connect with you? Do we use like that little icon in the corner there and it'll phone you? Is that how that works?
I would just put them in a chat with me. So just create a new chat, add both of us to the chat, and then make an introduction.
Oh, that way. Okay, I see. Perfect. Thanks, Nick.
And then if a phone call is we're going to do a phone call, we can just call from there. But that way you can give us, like, instead of having to make sure that you get everybody at the exact right time, which is almost impossible these days, You're able to create a introduction. And the only thing I ask when somebody puts me in a chat, and everybody will kind of second this, is just give the introduction, so that it's not just hey, Nick, this is Susie. And I'm sitting there trying to figure out who Susie is, what does she know? So you just introduce us as if we were at your house in person. Hey, Nick, this is my girlfriend, Susie. She and I have been chatting on Facebook. She's really curious about this. She's super awesome. And then tell Susie who I am. Even if you didn't do it out, or you already did it outside the chat, if you do it in the chat, then now both of us have an understanding that we both know who each other are, and it's a lot more comfortable and a lot more productive.
Okay.
Great question.
Right. Perfect. Thanks, Nick.
Yeah. Any other questions? All right. Well, hey, this is just one of many awesome Zooms that you'll get to participate in, and the experience that you guys are going to have here at Pruvit is in 6 months, you will look back saying, holy smokes, I'm so glad I did this. I'm so glad I'm part of that community. So before we sign off, Sally, any final thoughts for people who are brand new and just joined us?
Yeah, so stay positive, keep drinking your ketones, plug into this community, utilize the people that have been doing this for a while, plug them into what chats and conversations that you need help with. You're never alone in this community. And that is the one thing I tell people all the time. We are always here for you. And it doesn't matter what leg you're on, what team you're on, we are always here for you. I made a point right away in June of last year. I started watching my pulse on the Pruvit Pulse app. And I started just listening to those meetings that were popping up here and there and everywhere. And it just restored daily my belief and my faith in this product, this community, this just what we've got going for us. So stay plugged in, utilize the people in the community that are working this daily, and really, really lock arms with them. And let's have a good 2021. Yeah.
Woohoo. Jamie?
Awesome. So piggybacking off what Sally said, don't feel bad for utilizing your upline. They want to help you. They want to be in conversations. Them being in conversations also helps you figure out what's being talked about, and then you become comfortable with having the conversation. So do not feel bad. Always plug in, like Sally said. You're not alone, and be excited. You guys are here because you have belief in the product, or you've tried it and you love it. Be excited about it, and people are going to be excited about it right with you.
That's awesome. Well, hey, thank you so much for being on. I appreciate all of you. It's so much fun to see so many new faces. We're excited to have you as part of the community. This is just the beginning. 2021 is going to be an incredible year. And right now is a magical time. March, April, May is probably one of the most magical times in Pruvit. And I've been doing this. This will be my 6th March, April, May. And every single time I've been through these months, it's always just special. Tons of great people get started in March and they start sharing it. And there's just this momentum and energy and fun that is created. So thank you all so much for hopping on. Excited to meet you all in person. And with that, have an amazing night. We'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.